My name is Jeff Kunstler, and I'll be hosting today's webinar titled, What's New in RightFax 23.4 and the Future of Fax. We will be discussing some of the new features introduced in RightFax 23.4 and some of the new and exciting software that can intelligently classify, capture, and export data from your faxes. I'll then do a very brief live demo so you could see some of the new features. First, I'd like to tell you a little bit about Advantage Technologies. Advantage is a leading provider and integrator of RightFax, CloudFax, and intelligent document processing software for over 25 years. We are one of the few OpenText partners to be recognized as an authorized support provider, also known as ASP, and our help desk is based out of North America and is fully certified. Our global customer base includes Fortune 100 companies, major hospitals, and government agencies. On our agenda for today, we will first discuss some of the new features of RightFax 23.4, including a brief demo. We'll then discuss some of your options for hosting RightFax in the cloud. We'll then talk about intelligent fax processing, and finally, our Fax Pulse Suite. So let's look at some of the new and exciting features of RightFax 23.4. RightFax always included the option of installing a RightFax printer on your desktops. The printer allowed you to fax from any application that had a standard Windows print option. The problem was, as workforces started working virtually, there was more of a need to use web-based applications, such as the RightFax web client. The advantage of using web-based apps was no installation was needed, no upgrades were needed, and most importantly, the connection to the RightFax web services would just use standard web ports 80 or 443. Now, with the print-to-fax web, your at-home workers can use the web-based fax printer, and there is no need to open up additional ports on your firewalls. RightFax now includes a full integration with Cerner Millennium EHR. This allows Cerner users to send faxes directly from Cerner and customize faxing options directly from Cerner. With multi-tenancy, a provider can share a RightFax system among up to 64 tenants. Each tenant manages their own users, cover sheets, forms, library documents, and other objects, while the provider manages the main RightFax system, including document conversion and transmission. Each tenant can have up to 16 million faxes on the system. RightFax workflow has been enhanced with more accurate OCR and metadata detection. RightFax now has the ability to convert users to OpenID Connect on sign-in. Many of our customers use the RightFax MFP integrations, and version 23.4 now supports Xerox EIP third-generation browsers. RightFax phone books have been enhanced to be more responsive and easier to search. And if you are using OpenText CXE, RightFax will now seamlessly integrate with it. Okay, we're going to do a brief demo on some of the features on 23.4. Okay, so for the demo, what I'm going to do is I'm first going to show some of the new features, and then I'm going to go through some basic RightFax, sending a fax with the new web client, sending a fax with the new web printer, and then we'll just wrap it up with some basic admin tools that are available. Most of them I'm going to show you are new with 23.4. One or two might have been available in the previous version, but they're still relatively new, and I know most people out there are either brand new to RightFax or running an older version pre-22.2, so it'd be good for them to see it. Okay, so let's fire up the fax manager here, which I have. And the first thing I'd like to show you is under groups now, you'll see something new, which is the access control, the OpenID Connect. I talked about that earlier. So now if this is checked, this will convert any basic authentication users to OpenID Connect at sign-in. That's a pretty nice feature, and they just added it. Other features that I think are interesting and new with the system is the new web printer. So to show you the web printer, as I said, I'm going to do a couple of things. I am going to send a fax with it, but I think it'll be interesting to see how it's set up and how it works. So first thing about it is you have the ability to allow users to install the drivers for themselves. And that is done under here. So what I do is, what you'll see is this new configuration, RightFax print to fax web validate service certificate, and this one, users can self-install RightFax print to fax web. These are brand new. Basically, the first one's self-explanatory. If it's checked, it'll allow them to self-install, which is very small, it's very easy to do, and it's very quick, and I'm going to show you how to do it in a second. And then the next one is just for a certificate for encryption. So if this is checked, it'll validate the certificate. Just another level of security. So I'm going to do is go back to my desktop and show you a couple of things about the new web printer. So first of all, if I go to the web interface itself for RightFax, which is right here, I'm going to log in. As you can see, it's a new version, and it is, in my case, it has AD integration, and you can see that my account is here, Jeff, that's my name, so it actually passed through my Active Directory credentials. And the first thing I like to do is go to the Fax Util web. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want to show that if I click on my avatar here, the JE, you could see that there is install the print to fax web. Now, if you have that ability, if that box is checked, which it is in our system, any end users that click here can do one of two things. They can download and run an installer, or you can even do this. You can copy to clipboard. This is kind of neat. And then hit close. And then what happens is if you pre-install the new web controller, this is part of the web printer. It's called the RightFax print to fax web, and you right click on this. Well, sorry, I left click. You could link the account. So what you do is you click link account, and you say, yes, I'm already linked, but I'm going to show you what it looks like. And then you could paste it, and it connects, and it associates you with the user that's authenticated. So basically, there's two ways. To summarize, you can either click the button and install it, or if it's pre-installed already on the desktop, you could just link it. And that's what I did. So once I click OK, that's all set up. It's ready to go. All right, so let's do it. Let's go through that a bit, and I'll go back and show some more features. So the first thing I want to do is let's fire up Microsoft Word. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the new RightFax web-based printer can be used with any application as a file print. So if I type a letter here, this is a letter, a short letter. I can go File, Print, and the RightFax web print is already selected. And now when I click Print, what it does is it actually queues that print job up to the web interface. And you'll understand what I'm doing in a second. See, RightFax print to web. So if I want to print now, I click here. And what it does is it brings up the web interface. So now I can actually move it from there to the fax. I can actually fax it. So let's minimize this and I'll show you what I mean. Because it was hidden. It was right here. So you see what it did? It actually attached the Word document. Now what's nice about this is I can go back, print another document, and it'll keep adding it. So you can actually combine multiple documents this way. So you can either print one at a time, or you can go file print, let it build in the new RightFax web interface. And once you have all your documents there, you can type your destination, and you will see that I have my number in the phone book. That's why when I type 2 and 2, my name and some other ones that match 2 and 2 came up. So I highlight that. I could put a note here. I can change my cover sheet. So let's, I have a nice cover sheet here, and most of the newer versions of RightFax do allow you to view your cover sheets, and you can see cover sheets are done in Doc. So really easy to do. And we have a custom cover sheet here. So that looks good. My from information you can see is already populated because I am integrated with Active Directory. So it has my name, my fax number, and my voice number. Those 3 fields are actually populated for me in Active Directory. and then some other stuff. Most of the stuff has been around for a while. The delay send, hold for preview. You can add a form like an overlay. Let's put the word draft over the Word document I'm sending. And when you're ready, you send. Now, what's nice about this is all done through the web interface. So as I mentioned earlier, if you have at-home workers and people are working virtually, you have full access to this, which is the RightFax utility web version, which I'm looking at now, and also the RightFax printer web version, which I just showed you. And you can see how they integrate with each other. Real easy to work with. Really nice. A couple other things about the new Fax Utility Web. It is designed to be just like the thick client. It is full feature parity. You have options for delegates, so you can add your delegates here. You can customize their ACLs and what control they have. You could do phone books, obviously. So right now I don't think I have any delegates, or maybe I have one, but if you want to add new, you could do new and you can create the roles. So that's really nice. Full access to your phone book and to add additional phone books to your entry. So we'll see that now. These are my custom phone books. And if I want to add new, I can do a new phone book entry or group. The difference is a group will have multiple users in it. A phone book entry is individual. So a phone book group is a great way to do a fax blast. So you could see an ID is required, a 2 names required, and a fax number. After that, these are optional. You can publish it so everyone can use your phone books. I'll close out of this. And other things I wanted to show you about the Fax Utility Web is, well, let's look. We'll view a fax real quick. This is a fax I sent earlier. Comes with its own viewer. Pretty nice. You have your annotation tools here, so you can use maybe a redaction. Maybe I don't want the 2 name here. I can redact it very easy. Whoops. There it is. I could use a rubber stamp, and you can find rubber stamps on a user level, so every user has their own rubber stamp. I don't think I have too many rubber stamps in here. These are the ones that are included, so I can add a request denied if I want. Pretty easy, and put it wherever I want. And it's oops, got a little away from that. Let me fix that. There it goes. Okay. And then other things, as all versions of RightFax had, you do have that detailed audit history. So everything that goes out, either from the fax printer, the web fax printer, the web utility client, everything from the transmission record to everything that happens to that fax is added to the history, which is really nice. So I'm going to close out of this. So I think everyone got a good feel of the basics, some of the new functionality and how to send a fax. So a couple other things I want to show you. So let's go back to the web. Well, let's go back to the thick RightFax Enterprise Fax Manager. And a couple of new features here under services, under the server module. That's okay. I'm running this remotely, so it's just on access. It has no access to certain things, but what I'm showing you won't matter. And a couple of new things. So this has been around, enable high resolution, I think since 21. Not used too often. Enabling this will greatly increase your fax size and slow it down. That's pretty new, relatively new. A couple other things here I just saw is the pop-up. They started putting that back. Years ago, RightFax had the pop-ups. Now you'll see we have these notifications here. So see that? RF23, 2-page fax has arrived. So you have your notifications that you could do here and the pop-up. I'll cancel out of here. And I think that's about it for the new report. Oh, sorry. There is a couple other things I'd like to show you. I almost forgot. The log files now, you have the ability to view log files all in one central place. So if I go onto the fax server, which is here, because you have to be directly on the system. Remember, I'm doing this on a workstation. You can actually browse to one central location, which is C, program data, RightFax, and log. So this is where all your logs will be centralized. So you have different headers for the EFM, maintenance, and others. This is a relatively new system, so there's not much in here yet, but this will build over time, and it's very easy to find your logs. The other way you can do it is through the web EFM, which I'm going to show you now. I really didn't show it to you before, so let's go into that real quick. So if I drop this down here, I can choose the web admin. And again, it's AD integrated, so it's going to bring me right into my own. I am an administrator, I have accounts, and you have the event log viewers here, so you can view events here. It is a little slow, so when I download it, it might take a few seconds to get all the logs. It gathers it from Windows systems and those log files and shows you them all here. And while it's downloading, I'm going to close this up. Here it is. And you can filter on errors, warnings, or information, so you can see them all right from here. Other things you could do from the web admin is under configuration, we do have a couple of new things here. So a couple of configurations you do here. And under your certificates here, it's pretty neat. You can do your own self-signed certificate, or if you want to upload your own certificate, you can do that or download it back. So you have control over your certificates. It's important to know that all web integration with client server and RightFax has to be HTTPS. So you really either have to do a self-sign, which RightFax includes, or you can use your own. That's really up to you. Okay, I'm going to wrap up the demo now. So I'll clean up my desktop a bit. I'll close it out here. And we're going to continue with the slides. Now I'd like to talk a little bit about our hosted RightFax platform. With hosted RightFax, your existing RightFax workflows, MFP connectivity, integrations, and functionality are forklifted to secure SOC 1 Type 2 compliant and redundant data centers. Your fax processes and integrations remain exactly the same, but the burden of maintaining your system is now managed by us. By hosting your RightFax server, you reduce management expenses, reduce security concerns, and eliminate the need for any telecom connections. We offer a simplified monthly pricing plan, and your subscription includes all the RightFax features you would have if it were on-premise. You only pay for what you use, and there is no worries about needing additional capacity during peak faxing periods. Okay, now we're going to talk a little bit about intelligent fax processing. So, what is intelligent fax processing? Intelligent fax processing leverages artificial intelligence and machine learning to automate the classification, capture, and final delivery of data to external applications such as an EMR system, database, or maybe a JSON, HL7, or XML file. Intelligent fax processing saves organizations time and money by eliminating the need for manual processing. Currently, when an inbound fax arrives, someone needs to manually classify the document. Many times, a fax consists of many documents, and just finding and splitting the one document you need is very time-consuming. From there, someone needs to move the important information from the image-based fax into the EMR or another application. This is also very time-consuming. Intelligent fax processing eliminates all these time-consuming processes and saves you time and money. It also increases the accuracy of your data. On this slide, you'll see how intelligent fax processing will save you time and money. You will decrease your labor costs by 20%, improve the speed of processing faxes by 75%, and cut billing and claims processing by 50%. Those are some pretty large numbers. Here you'll see a little more detail on how intelligent fax processing works. First, the image is cleaned up and diskewed. Then a very accurate OCR/ICR process will allow the software to classify and extract key data. Now, based on confidence levels that you determine, you can have a human validate the data before delivering or exporting the data. If the confidence levels are met, the whole process can be automated without any human intervention. Another key feature is the document does not have to be structured. Our software uses AI and machine learning to intelligently learn what type of document it is, just like a human can distinguish different types of documents. On the next slide, we'll discuss our Fax Pulse Suite, which consists of Fax Pulse BI, Fax Pulse MA, and Fax Pulse AI. Fax Pulse Business Intelligence is an analytics and monitoring add-on for RightFax. Fax Pulse BI can be used to isolate issues with your RightFax server. Issues can include transmission errors, conversion errors, or unavailable resources. Fax Pulse BI can also be used to maximize the usage of your RightFax channels based on time of day usage, individual or group usage, and day, week, month, or year usage. Fax Pulse MA is a full-featured monitoring tool that will notify you if one of your RightFax services are not running or if your queues are building higher than a set threshold. Our Fax Pulse Automated Inbound, also known as Fax Pulse AI, is a great tool to verify your inbound faxing is working correctly. Fax Pulse AI will track an inbound fax from the time your server receives the call all the way to various workflows, such as a network folder, an email, or delivery into an application. Fax Pulse AI will also send you an email if there is a phone line problem. Since these are such powerful and full-featured add-ons, I'd recommend you contact your sales associate for a demo of the product. That is really the only way you'll get to see all the features of these powerful tools. So let's go over the key takeaways. RightFax 23.4 has some amazing new features, including the new web-based fax printer, full Cerner EHR integration, a centralized location for log files, full integration with Xerox 3rd generation MFPs, phone book enhancements, and notification enhancements. RightFax now supports Windows 2019 and 2022 server OSs and Windows 11 on the desktop. Intelligent fax processing can save you time and money with the ability to automatically classify, capture, and deliver data to any application. And finally, our Fax Pulse Suite can greatly enhance the management and reliability of your RightFax server.